So I decided to do some research, and I highly recommend you do research because there are a lot of misconceptions. There are things that you need to consider, especially if you have Afro texture hair like me. There are specialists that can do it, and there are other places that say they can do it or they have done it. On the screen, you should see a graphic that shows the shape of hair. And note there are 3 types: straight hair, wavy hair, and Afro texture hair. And notice their hair follicles are different for each of them. And so you want to make sure, especially if you have Afro texture hair, that you choose somebody who specializes and has the proper tools to do Afro textured hair. That's important to remember, and it takes special tools and somebody with experience to understand what it is that you need so that you have more survivability among hair grafts. So I did some research and I found there were quite a few places to have a hair transplant, but as I said, you want to find a place that specializes in Afro texture hair if that's what you have. And so I chose Hiva. There was another competing clinic in Istanbul, which, by the way, I chose Istanbul primarily because, to me, I wanted to go somewhere that I felt specialized in hair transplants and specifically cared about me, who I am. And there is a misconception that we have the greatest everything here. And I'm going to disagree with that when it comes to hair transplants. I think that Istanbul, Turkey is the place to go. And as far as safety, Turkey is a safe country. There are many misconceptions amongst people within our population that want to label other countries, especially non-Christian countries, as not being safe. Istanbul is totally safe. So they have direct flights from Atlanta, which is where I am from. 10 to 11 hours, I think, is the flight time. So I did my research, went online, and after I decided, I basically got quotes from a couple different clinics that said they did Afro texture hair, and only 2 clinics really had testimonials, and I was more impressed with Hiva. Long story short, go to their website, check out, just kind of click around and look at some of the testimonials and look at the photos, the before and after. And there should be a page that has a form in which you can fill out your name and contact information. And I would say within a day, you're going to receive a call back via WhatsApp or a message. And I'm going to give a shout out to Layla with customer service because she helped me through the whole process. And what I will say is customer service is the face of any company. And I think a lot of people take for granted communication, good communication in customer service. And honestly, the other companies that I reached out to, the service was not very good. And it kind of turned me off. And so I know I experienced that a lot here in the States where you have a really good doctor, but the front desk is just not so good. But with Hiva Clinic, I will say the customer service was very strong. And what I particularly liked about the person that worked with me is that when she couldn't answer a question, there was no guessing. She said, I will find out and get back with you. And I do a lot of work in customer service, and I have, and that's one of the things that is really important. You want to make sure that you're given accurate information, and I felt like that's what I got. And so I really appreciate the customer service, and it was great. So what they do when you go online is they're going to ask you for photos, different angles, the front, top, back side of your hair, to get a look at what's needed in the recipient area and if you have enough in the donor area. And they may also ask you for a video to sort of thumb your fingers through the donor area to see that you have a proper amount of donor hair available to fill the recipient area. So the customer service was great, and I'll just say thank you to Hiva Clinic again. They're really good at staying in touch, communicating the needs of the client. At least that was my experience. So if you're interested, I would say fill out the form and communicate with them. If you like my video, click the like button, subscribe, and feel free to leave a comment.